Welcome and welcome back to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. To those that might be new, we are the Light Renegades. We are a collective of Pleiadian beings bringing you information from the stratospheres that are ever expanding. We are disclosing cosmic secrets and hopefully bringing forward information that is allowing for you to stand ever more in your sovereignty and in your power. That being said, if you are here for the first time, I'm going to stick a massive trigger warning on this message and ask that you please come to this message when you do have some time to just sit and receive energetic exchange. I will apologize in advance because I've been deep in energy work this morning and I feel like I'm having to anchor in a frequency that I'm supposed to be sharing with all of you. So please bear with me. I feel like I'm still in quite a trance state and I feel like this message is perhaps one of the most important messages that I've brought forward to date because I feel like it affects so many of us, but we just haven't been in full awareness of it yet because it hasn't been time for us to truly awaken to this notion. And this idea of mind control, that is the title of today's channeling, has come up time and time again for me on my path, but it just hasn't been time for me to really see it in that expression and that understanding. And slowly but surely, more things have been brought to my attention this weekend. I've been back into, I guess, conspiracy land again, kind of looking at the full scope of everything that's been happening out here in the world. And this idea of mind control is just so real and it is so prevalent in every aspect of life. And I think that I have been shocked to my core again this week, just truly understanding how much of life is just straight up mind control, pure mind control, and there is no two ways about it. And I think many of you here in the collective are very much in the mind of this, but I think what the GA have to share today is going to be something that perhaps you haven't delved into at its deepest capacity yet, and there's going to be more to come from the GA about this, but I think this is just a start as to get us into the mind frame of understanding this potential aspect of soul that some might have been connected to. And this will not be for everyone in this collective. I feel like this is definitely going to be for souls that are just awakening now. I feel like they perhaps have been in the grips of the mind control to its deepest capacity. I consider myself to be, a product of mind control 1000%. I feel like the way that I was living my life was purely running on autopilot of what was shared to me through the 90s. I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 1990, and I feel like the way that I ended up living my life was just a reflection of everything that was just spoon-fed to me from the world. And that took me to some pretty dark and scary and isolating places. And I was reminded why I do any of this, why I show up in this way, is to help us see it in an expression so that we can help all of those out there that are still so seemingly stuck in their spaces within this expression. So if you are here for the first time, this is going to be perhaps an energetically heavy message. You might want to head over to our playlist and see if anything else jumps out at you. However, if you are here, I would say that this message is most definitely for you. But I channeled this a few days from the GA, which is our fraction of the Galactic Federation of Light, that once was, and they started with, "The time has come, dear souls, to step into a journey that we've been waiting to share for some time. This dear soul has been incredibly confused as to whom she is, why she is here, and what all this has meant. We wish to divulge another layer of disclosure today, not something most of you here will not be familiar with. However, this may come to a surprise to some, as you just may well resonate with lots of what we have to share with you today. The idea of mind control and the manipulation of the masses is very real. However, this is not our point of contention today. We wish to speak of those that have inherent sensibility. Those that were targeted in order to be taken and controlled. There are many of you in this collective that have been connected to such notions in previous lives. Some agreed so that you could understand it all at a soul's level. Some, due to previous lives you lived, you wanted to go in again and help others that are the same as yourself. Some of you come from a long line of sought-after DNA that means you've been targeted from birth." And this is definitely something that Anne-Marie and myself have been talking about behind the scenes. Anne-Marie, my fellow Light Renegade and Pleiadian Star sister, that does a Getting Started series, connecting to the Pleiadian High Council and looking at aspects of polarity right now on Earth. We've been seeding in this notion of DNA and just how much it plays an important factor as to whom you are and how you are affected by the negative reptilian order and its influence right now. But I'm going to continue. "We have come to you with this notion before. However, we wish for it to sink in right now as you are breaking free from the past. We wish to bring this to your attention now so that you can find the missing keys, the missing link, the missing pieces to your puzzle. We wish to share some aspects of behavior that you may be displaying which can indicate that you have been in a mind control program at some point in a previous life or parallel timeline. 1. You may dissociate a lot, feel indifferent to notions of emotion. If a situation calls for a heightened state of emotion, you may just switch off. 2. You forget who you are often. You aren't able to hold on to identity. When someone calls your name, it doesn't register. 3. Your dreams are chaotic and often depicting violent, overtly sexual behavior and shameful situations. You often feel a strong sense to break away when life is seemingly just usual, stable, or joyful. 5. You feel a strong sense of connecting to topics that aren't of usual understandings. Niche research, you may find yourself deep, and often I'm laughing because it's definitely me. If what we have discussed just now rings true to you somewhere, you will have felt this. You would have felt this message is for me. Again, this message will not be for all here. Please do not sink into fear. Move through that expression and be honest with self. Make note of today's message as we wish to help many more of you at a deeper capacity. It was not time to seed in such notions until now, but the time has come. You are ready to break soul free once and for all. So many of you have been waiting for this exact moment in this lifetime to break all chains. We shall let this dear soul share her thoughts and feelings with you all with love. And I felt like I wasn't entirely sure what the GA wanted me to share with all of you, because I still don't feel like I've seeded in such notions for self at its deepest capacity. I have always had quite chaotic dreams since I've been able to start remembering my dreams, awakening to this path. And you know, I very much have been a soul that dips in and out of timelines often, and I knew that this was a byproduct of being in mind control programs in previous lives. This idea of separating different aspects of the mind so that you can have split personalities and split functions, I think is something that I've been connected to often, which is why I can jump timelines easier than others. So please go easy, please go well, because I feel like this message is going to be a trigger for some, and you're going to start to remember such notions of you being in mind control programs. And you know, there are aspects that are brought forward that aren't easy to contend with. There is a lot that happens in my dream time when I wake up and I just think, oh my gosh, I'm not entirely sure where I was, but this was a pretty horrific situation to find myself in. And I am often with a lot of celebrities when I'm in my dream time, and I think that I step into aspects of them being in a mind control program somewhere, and my oversoul being a soul that is looking after them in their spaces. So sometimes I will snap into what they are experiencing in their present given time right now, and you know, my oversoul is helping them navigate their expression in that space and trying to bring them back to the light at all times, which often means I see some pretty horrific things that are going on behind the scenes. I connected to celebrity culture and other aspects of, you know, saving children from the negative reptilian order. This is definitely something that's been brought up in my dream time and time again, and I wake up and I feel exhausted and I'm back in those phases again. So if this rings true to you, you know, please do not hesitate to reach out. I feel like I will have some information for you that perhaps might be able to help you, and you know, help me seed in my knowledge as well. I realized that there was going to be a lot of I think knowledge exchange between those that are awake right now and us moving forward together as a collective. I feel like there are seeded bits of information that each soul kind of holds this lifetime that we are all going to be sharing together at some point, whether this is energetically, whether this is, you know, one-to-one sessions, whether this is due to aspects that happen out in the present given time in the world that then reflects back to us, you know, notions that we've been in the past. And I feel like we are going through karmic loops and cycles, or at least we have been up until this point right now. And I think 2025 is going to be a very telling year. 2024 has been the year of collapse, and I wasn't expecting the collapse of self, although now that I look back on it, it makes the most amount of sense. And I've definitely been combing over aspects of the past that have been connected to previous lifetimes where I know that I was seeding in such notions of mind control, but also seeing where that can be of great help and wealth to us right now in our expression and moving forward. And I feel like I see mind control happening very obviously. I feel like if something is of the nature of mind control, I can spot it a mile away, and I don't really know how to make it make sense, but it has a very distinct essence. It has a very, I want to say it even has a smell. It has a very distinct smell. It has a very distinct way that it looks and that it feels, and I think that many of you tune into this aspect often but also I think there are many in the collective that haven't seeded in this expression yet, so you're still under the influence in certain points of your expression right now. And specifically if you are still continuing to consume mass media culture somewhere, and there are many of you out there that I know are doing your own work behind the scenes, and this is a point of the GA brings forward this idea of that connecting to strong topics that aren't of usual understandings and niche aspects of research that you find yourself deep in often. That is definitely me. That's definitely part of the work that I do here. And I think some of you are seeding into that notion, so please don't freak out at that. But I think that some of you here are still trapped in this loop, in these cycles, connecting to the mass media. And, this is a point of expression that I think the negative reptilians have been banking on us continuing to perpetuate for a very long time. So this is a warning message, and I think a message to say, please take a step back and try and make life as simple as possible, specifically now, because I think so many of you are coming to the point where you are willing to, and soul is ready to, break chains from the past, parallel times, once and for all. So please do not get stuck now. Please do not get trapped now, and try and make life as simple as possible so that you can truly see what is going on around you. And I think some of you have been pushed to a point of feeling like perhaps you are slipping into aspects of the past and past self, and this has been through purpose. So if you feel like you've been, I don't know, perhaps engaging in things that you once were in the past, and you felt like you outgrown those expressions. I feel like it's been coming up to you now so that you could learn those lessons at a deeper capacity, but also so you could see exactly the points that you were being trapped in the past, so that you can walk away from them now, is what I want to share. And I feel like there was two aspects of understanding being brought forward with this message, so I hope that you all are able to understand what I'm trying to say. It just feels like a vibration to me, so I'm trying to put it into words, but I feel like I really can't, but I know that it's going in somewhere for you. So there was this aspect of mind control and being brought to the forefront of your expression so that you can understand that you've been connected to such notions, and aspects of the past being brought forward now so that you can break those chains free once and for all. So please go easy, go steady with self, go well. And if you want to be seeding in more of this notion and expression and understanding, please ask to be shown more in your dream time, because you'll be granted this expression. And you can go as far as to say specific questions you want answering as well in dream time. And I feel like many of you are going to be granted access to information and expressions that you haven't been able to tap into just yet, because it just simply hasn't been time. I've been feeling this pressure cooker of energy that's been brought to the surface, and I feel like these next few months are going to be incredibly telling. I think a lot is going to happen for the collective, but I think there is going to be a lot that happens in terms of collapse and the foundations being rocked of many. So I want to say that please make sure that your foundations are strong within self right now, whilst moving forward through all of these expressions of expanse, because it's going to be incredibly important that you can stand 2 feet on the ground somewhere at all times, because I think energetically and I think collectively and socially and politically, I think a lot is going to happen that could be destabilizing if you choose to stick to the narrative of connecting into mass media and culture and what that world means. I don't feel connected to that world. I cannot express how much I don't feel connected to the world that is being brought forward through mass media right now. I am of earth, I'm of nature, I'm of galactic understanding. I'm not part of this paradigm that has been corrupted and pushed towards us, and neither are any of you. So please remember that and be mindful of what you are consuming right now, because it does hold the energy and the frequency of mind control at all times, is what I want to share. And things being brought back to my attention, it was just a stark reminder of just how much we are living in a fragmented and fabricated I can't even say the word fabricated reality. So you get to decide your reality. So step away from mass media, because it has a control over so many somewhere, and you do not want to be a part of that anymore. So that's your gentle reminder. And if things start to come up and they are confusing, ask for clarity, and please get out in nature as much as possible. When anything feels so incredibly confusing, I just go outside and I plank 2 feet on the ground, in the soil, wherever I find myself, and it always brings me the most amount of clarity. So that's for those that might have been struggling behind the scenes just as much as I have. I feel like I've just been collapsing it every which way, every minute of every day, every way that I've turned right now. It's just been bringing myself back to expressions of the past and having to face them and, you know, realign with this new fabric of expression that's coming forward. I feel like there was a lot of energy coming in from spaces that haven't been able to see it in such a high vibration as yet, because the negative reptilian order had such a hold over. But I feel like the energy has been slipping and wavering for some time, and we are trying to harness in all those bits of energy that are coming in that are just going straight into our 5D sensibilities. And this idea of DNA and you being targeted for your DNA is very, very real. It's going to be an expression that is brought forward when it is time. So make sure that you are looking after self and your physical vessel above all else, everyone. And, you know, please go easy with this expression, because I know that it can be a lot and it can be incredibly confusing and isolating. So know that you're never alone. Know that there is many souls out here that feel just as fragmented as you do, myself being one of them, and we are all seeding in this notion and this expression of, you know, I guess a new reality together. But I think that best be all for myself and the GA today. And if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself or the Light Renegades as a whole. We are completely here to support you. And I feel like there is a lot that is going to be brought forward to us that we just haven't been able to witness and sink into our deepest soul self yet. So just be aware of that, everyone. And if something comes in, you think, oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared for that, you know, please make sure that you are taking as much time for self as you can and reaching out for help, whatever that looks like to you. You know, friends, family, those that you trust, teams of light, please do get help within this sector, because I know that it can be quite mentally destabilizing, and we want to make sure that you are doing okay. So, you know, seeking professional help, if that is going to help with some aspects of this, please do that and seek those notions as well, everyone. But that's all for myself and the GA today, and I'll be back real soon. But for now, take care.